We are winding down our Celebrating in Color paper pumpkin kit from May. Got the final Starry Sky card to show you. It will look like this. You don't need to use, but you can use an envelope if you want to get a variety of paper. But I did use these two pieces, and you can either use one of the plain white cards in the kit or get yourself some white cardstock for the base. I'm going to start first with the stamping, and I did the Starry Sky ink, which you don't have to if you don't have the colors. Don't worry about it. You can use the basic gray that came in the kit, and I'm going to stamp the word U down on the bottom and kind of hugging the base and the edge. And then I inked up just the 4 from the off the just 4 stamp. I'm inking only the word 4. And I'm going to stamp that down kind of above it, hopefully straight. And that's it for the stamping. Then we're going to use the cursive Happy from the sentiments sheet. I'm going to use this. We'll use that at the end though, and then we'll use the little Starry Sky little gem things. I'm going to close up this ink. Then I am taking the trimmer and I'm going to zip off just a little bit. We're going to make these into 1-inch squares, so I'm going to cut off, I want this gold line for an accent piece, and then we're going to cut it into 1-inch strips. So basically we can cut off part of this white, then we're going to cut it down at 2, and cut it down at 1, then we're going to cut these up into 1-inch pieces, and you're going to do that with all of the strips that you just made. Now I have all these cut up into 1-inch squares. I'm also going to cut this piece into 1-inch squares because I want the variety of the pattern. So hang on, and I'm going to cut that up. So now you're going to take a piece of paper. I've got mine 2 inches wide by 5.5, and then you can arrange your pieces on here and then trim it down if you need to. So it's better to start a little bigger, and then you can trim it down to the width that you want. So I'm going to go, it's going to go over here, so I have a little bit of room to put this piece underneath before it's going to cover up my words. So let's just build it, and then we can trim it after that. So all you're going to do is put adhesive on the back of your pieces and start layering them on your paper. And once you kind of get one on crooked, they're all going to start to go crooked, so just keep that in mind. It's not an exact science unless you need it to be, and by all means get your ruler, get whatever you need to help you keep your pieces in line how you want them. But I'm just going to go ahead here and just start lining them up. You're just going to butt them up against each other. glue them down. You might want to, spread your pieces out so you could see. I like all these pieces that have the gold on them, so I'm going to make sure to use those where I can to showcase the little gold effects. And so just go ahead and start gluing those on. And I'm going to pause and I will be back again in a second. I'm just building up my pieces, and you can see I got these little triangles that are going to be empty right while you're building, but don't worry about them. You can come back in with a spare piece that you have and just glue it in there and trim it off, or these pieces that you trim off because they're hanging over, they will fit in there and fill in those spaces for you. So just keep on building. So now I have it built all the way up. I'm going to come through and trim off all these pieces. So I have glue hanging off, so I don't really want to use my trimmer. It'll gunk it all up. So I'll use my scissors. They're easier to clean the gunk off. So I'm just going to come through and trim these off. If you have a little mini trimmer, that would probably work good because that's easy to clean up. A little one like I usually have here, but my dangerous one with the broken guard. Alright, so we got all these trimmed off. Now you're going to come through. You could leave it. I don't mind all the little white spaces there, but you can come through now with these little bits that you just cut off and find ones that you want to put in there. So like we might want a little gold over here, or we might want some gold here. I do want some gold there. So then you're just going to stick them in there, adhere it in that spot, and cut it off. That's all you need to do to fill in the rest of those edge pieces. So go ahead and do that next. Alright, I'm all done now. I've got all my patterns on there. You want your patterns every which way. You want gold spattered through it. Just, jazz it up. Do what you need to with it. And then when you are ready, take this piece that's left over and put a little bit of adhesive on the side and glue it to it. Okay. And then now you'll want to come through. We need to trim a little bit off the bottom where it's not the same height. And then go ahead and match it up to your card where you stamped, and just make sure that you're going to have enough space for the words, that you're not covering over the top of your words. So I'm just going to glue that on, and then I will come through and trim off the side. I'm going to be a little bit hanging over the my left side of my card. So I'm going to kind of like this. I'm going to work from the side of the card back. Don't quite have it on there straight. Like so. Now now I moved it and I'm over my word a little bit, but you get it. You get it. I'm not going to keep tearing it off. And then if you need to trim up where it hung over the edge, I don't really, because when I just moved it, I didn't end up really going over the edge, so. Then you're going to take that happy add a few dimensionals to the back, or the foam tapes, strips, if you have the foam strips. This is a good place that you could put those because they would go down the, you could go down the letters. I'm going to cut this one. And I'll call that good for dimensionals right now. And then we're just going to put that on the front at a little bit of an angle, kind of in the middle-ish. And then finish it off with those little matte dots. Randomly. Whoops, that one didn't get, the dot didn't stick. Put these across the front. There we go. And that one missed the little dot from the paper, but I can stick it back on there now and use it again. There. And there you have it, our final card for the paper pumpkin kit for May.